This guy stole game number 1 with Freeze Mage versus Warrior.
Yeah, unbelievable game from him there. You have to be one of the biggest dogs you could possibly be in a match in Hearthstone. He finds a way to win it.
But anything can always happen, and it can happen in game number 4. So we're getting underway right now. Kaldi on match point tonight. Zalae's winning streak is at risk, and Kaldi needs a win to put himself in a better spot for the playoffs.
Nobody's gotten 7 in a row. There's a good chance. If Kaldi wins this, nobody will.
And big surprise, with players' backs against the wall, they go to their comfort picks.
Oh, I'm not surprised at all to see this from Zalae. This is something we've just been seeing all season long from him here, especially late. I'm surprised we've seen so little Grim Preaching from him lately.
I think, he is respecting other people's abilities to adapt to what he's doing. And Kaldi queuing up a handlock build here. I've heard, pretty much since the beginning, people have been saying that handlock is really what beats this deck. But after watching some of the great players play it, I don't believe that anymore.
Yeah, it just depends on how good the players are on both sides and how much they understand the matchup. But it has the tools to compete with this. But Zalae's probably played this matchup a million times. You saw him really taking his time there. He wanted to make sure that he mulliganed correctly for this matchup, because you got to believe it's handlock if you're playing against Kaldi.
And we saw the shield blocks in his deck in game number 1, but he didn't have shield slams in there.
Oh, yeah, that's true. He went through the whole deck, just shield blocks. But Kaldi has been, has some aggressive tendencies lately as well. So Zalae, I don't know if he's gonna, risk this unstable goal here, but yeah, I guess he is.
I think this is a spot where he looks at his hand and figures he needs to get on the ground running, get some stuff in play.
Yeah, he might just frothing Berserker next turn.
It's a possibility.
Because if you get out to early leads against handlock, they have a problem sometimes, because a lot of games their early hand's very clunky.
And he's gotten a Dark Bomb out of the way. Oh, second guessing things.
Well, here's the thing: Zalae now knows you have a Dark Bomb, by the way.
Yes. It could be an Iron Beak Owl, but it's
you just gave it away.
Yeah, it's a Dark Bomb. Maybe he wants.
Yeah, that would be kind of a cool little tease, game to run on the guy.
We both realized at the same. Tane and I just both looked at each other at the same time, like he wants him to know he has Dark Bomb. Because if it's like, say he thinks about Dark Bomb here and he pulls it back. Is Zalae thinking he's got Dark Bomb Mortal Coil now?
Yeah, look, you see him just not even frothing Berserker here.
Yeah,
Love the games between these two guys.
I'm not saying this is what's happening, but
it's what's happening. But there's a good chance that's exactly what just happened. Zalae pays attention to those kinds of things.
He's the one person I would expect to be paying attention to that too. Twilight Drake, not an easy card to deal with.
Yeah, they'll say causing some problems. It's gonna be hard to pass up putting a Death Spite into play here on Zalae's side, since he already has Inner Rage and a Grim Patron.
Is this where you just start taking damage though? Do you just whack the Twilight Drake twice?
We've seen Zalae be very aggressive in these situations, so there's a very good chance that happens. We have seen Zalae be very aggressive before in the spot.
This is like around the turn where he starts doing it too. He's very patient with his life total. Will use it very aggressively, but wants to do it in the right spot. So 4 goes to this turn. 5 is really where it starts for him, though. When he starts picking up steam right there.
Yep. It's going to be a little more defensive. Draw some extra cards here, gain some extra armor, entrenching himself for a longer game.
Also gets a little bit more information this way too. Before he commits to a play.
Yeah, and this Void Caller is going to get into play here for Kaldi, and this time he has a demon in his hand.
Yeah, and it happens to be Lord Jiraxxus. 315s are not easy to deal with unless you have Execute.
You could just run a Frothing Berserker into it.
Just run a Frothing Berserker into it.
It'll probably have like 37 power.
That's my favorite thing to do, is run 15 power plus Frothing Berserkers into Jiraxxus.
Yeah.
When my opponent is Jiraxxus, I don't mind doing that so much. Oh, yeah. But when Jiraxxus just happens to be a dude hanging out.
A little minion chilling on the board.
Just having a drink.
Little minion chilling.
Yeah. You party with Jiraxxus.
He'd probably be a lot of fun. He's a giant demon. How's he not fun?
When the Infernals show up, stuff starts getting real, all right?
Yeah, they first start breaking stuff. You ever have to call the cops, get him kicked out.
Jiraxxus, you're under arrest. Oblivion! Yeah, let me see some ID, buddy. Just handcuffs him.
I get to see a little gnome walking up to him like that with a police account on, his giant beard.
Harrison comes and takes his weapons for evidence.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Second Twilight Drake. This is looking scary for Zalae. This is really one of the spots where this deck has its big advantage, is where it's playing these monstrous threats early, and the Warrior deck doesn't have Executes.
Yeah, when this deck, you just put it right there. When they don't have Execute, it can really have some problems, because its minions aren't really designed to win any kind of combat here. They're designed to go to your face.
Yeah, they're meant to just combo with each other and go one big swing to the dome.
Yeah, he keeps picking up things like Slam, but... And Zalae, you know, he's at 35, so he has a couple turns left to, you know, make sure he finds all the pieces and put this together, but every turn that, you know, he sits back and doesn't do anything, Kaldi's going to just keep pushing damage and keep developing his board, and next turn it looks like we're going to get an Emperor from him.
Yeah, that one's starting to turn into a little bit of a problem.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty scary.
Slam, Battle Rage, no good.
We can make it pretty good next turn.
But again, he's going to be just so behind on board at that point.
Yeah, Kaldi's going to start, oh, there's the Mal'Ganis too. There's some chances if this Void Caller dies that some craziness can ensue.
Yeah, I can tell you that Zalae does not feel comfortable killing the Void Caller right now.
Yeah, Kaldi doesn't mind putting some actual damage on Zalae here. If he wants to Battle Rage, that's fine.
Yeah, so be it.
Yeah, at this point in the game, the ship has sailed about playing around that card. Yeah, it looks like Zalae's going to try to regain a lot of his losses here.
Not really much of an option.
Yeah, he's going to get to draw some extra cards as well. This is a twofold thing. He's getting extra armor here and extra cards off of his Battle Rage. This is what he needs to get back in this game. There's an Execute too. He's looking for, oh, there's both of them.
Execute on Twilight Drake for sure.
Yeah, he doesn't really want this Void Caller dying anytime soon.
I mean, now that he's got the pressure stifled, it's actually looking pretty darn good for him.
Yeah. Zalae just pulled back in his game in a big way.
And that's the power of Battle Rage. It will even some of these scores at times. Gosh, just...
The thing is about this with here too is Kaldi doesn't have a giant clock anytime soon either. You know, like what does he do to start getting this game over with as soon as possible? Because you don't want to give Zalae all the time in the world here. He's starting to, you know, get so many cards.
Yeah, I think at this point he's fine just adding Anti-Killbot to the board. It's probably one of the least valuable cards in his hand. It is a threat to add right now. And everything else in his hand is pretty much a utility spell at this point. Doesn't want to commit resources he doesn't need to.
Now, is this a turn where Zalae starts to commit? I got to believe he's going to wait at least one more.
Yeah, I think he's looking for bigger turns with his Execute. Wants to get the game swung around yet again and then find himself in the right spot.
That, or he, you know, when he gets to 9 mana, he can Grim Patron, Warsong, Whirlwind, and Inner Rage all in the same turn. And you're looking to have a turn that big in this matchup because, as we saw in one of the other ones, the first time you go off isn't always, you know, enough to win the game.
Yeah. Actually needs more stuff committed to the board from Kaldi. Oh, patient game. No mission vendors. Looking like a little bit of enough to get this done. Slams Mal'Ganis as quickly as he can.
Yeah, beat it.
Well,
we see that Zalae can.
Yeah, happens to be able to beat it right now.
And this Jiraxis is going to get into play this turn most likely as well. Unless he just wants to be really careful and he get Inner Rage plus Execute, but I got to believe he's not going to do that.
No, there's no chance he's Inner Rage Execute.
Yeah. Now, he's going to get this Grim Patron into play. He's going to Inner Rage it, and then he's going to Whirlwind Execute here. There's a good chance we might even see Battle Rage, but just looking for the last couple pieces to make sure he can finish this game off the next turn or two.
Yep.
Here comes Lord Jiraxis.
Now, there's the bad news.
517. That is one big minion.
3 cards is a lot, though.
There's a Shield
now
Slam.
he has Shield Slam in his deck.
Wow, he's actually changing it up here between games. The HPL format being shown to you right here. You're actually allowed to change your deck in between the games.
That's so interesting to me that it wasn't in there in game 1, and now it is in there in game 2. And that actually may have been something he was trying to do. You know, if it goes the full 30, this is a pretty rare circumstance. But if it goes the full 30, Kaldi saw no Battle Rage just got played that turn. He saw 28 other cards. He's not expecting Shield Slam.
If he wins this match, I can't wait to ask him about that.
Well, he's got to get through this board position first, and it's looking mighty scary. I mean, Shadow Flame's cleaning up everything here, and then he's crashing in for damage.
Yeah, and like we saw in the other game of this matchup, you know, you go off, you make a bunch of patrons, not good enough the first time. Kaldi going to take his time, make sure he doesn't misstep here, just plays as perfectly as possible because, you know, not only is this a big match for him, this is, you know, this is his season.
Yeah, he needs to win this match. This is paramount. And I think he's sticking Lotheb behind.
I was about to say, this is a Lotheb turn for sure.
Yep, and now looking poised. Very much ahead on the board, ahead in the game as well. He's gotten both executes from Zalae.
Yeah, he's got great threats in play. He's got Zalae on his back foot here.
Grim Patron cannot be utilized again this turn.
Zalae can get an Acolyte of Pain into play. I don't know if he'll play the Armor Smith here. He's got a Fiery War Axe to, take care of this Antique Heal bot. He's got a couple of options here, but he's starting to feel this game slip away. You have to feel that.
He's just getting low, and he's facing down 11 power on board right now.
Now, I do like this, just gumming up the works here from Zalae. You've seen Kaldi trade in a lot of spots, so maybe he can gain some extra life by, Kaldi attacking his minions here, but I think there's a good chance Kaldi just, really gets a move on.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. And when he sees the Fiery War Axe before Death Bite, how uncomfortable is he investing the Acidic Swampus here as well? Does he even need to kill a Fiery War Axe? I don't think he does.
Yeah, I don't think he does since he's got 2 gigantic taunted minions. You'd welcome Zalae to attack these.
Pressure is mounting. I mean, he may just play this Ooze for pressure. Foregoes it this turn. But Zalae, can he chew through this board? There's no way he's killing this Jiraxis without using his Frothing Berserker.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to have to get something crazy going here with Warsong Commander, Frothing Berserker, and Whirlwind. He can't get the Grim Patron in play at the same time, though. But this Whirlwind's going to be huge. But I don't even know if he can get it big enough to kill this Lord Jiraxis, right?
I don't necessarily think he can, but he's going to try his best to get the job done.
Yeah, whatever he does, he has to do it quick, by the way. That's another thing we talked about. He has to commit to this as quickly as possible because he needs all these animations finished. Now, he does get to gain a ton of life this turn.
That's the benefit of this, is that he gets to kill the Lotheb here. But again, he's facing a 4/15 taunt.
Yeah, that is a big minion. What's the best line here? Again, he has to move.
And he's got to kill something. He's at 12. Yep, wants a shield slam on this and then hope that Kaldi invests into this board position. He's doing everything he can just to try to buy time right now. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
Kaldi's just a few short here.
Every single turn feels more and more dangerous for Kaldi.
Yeah, you got to believe he can't leave the Warsong Commander sitting around,
No,
right?
absolutely not. That's the scariest. That's like one of the scariest minions in the game.
I think it is the scariest minion in the game right now. It's that and Emperor Thorson. It's 2 minions you cannot leave on the board for more than a turn.
Yeah, I actually like this Defender of Argus sequencing too. Just build up the most resilient board that you possibly can.
Yeah, he's going to take care of some of Zalae's threats here, push a little bit of damage, and try to end this game next turn.
Yep, Kaldi's read is that Zalae's never having Brawl in this deck, and I would totally agree with that. There's just no way that Zalae's going to push through this without Brawl. Yeah, even gets a Warsong Commander, but no way to activate through this. Kaldi, there's still a little bit more time for Zalae, but I don't think he's got the tools left to do this.
Zalae still got to go through Kaldi still got to go through the motions, but you got to believe this is pretty much it. Let's talk about it as if Kaldi just won. This is an unbelievable win for him here. Stopping the 6-match win streak from Zalae and pushing himself up just like ECOP did tonight. With ECOP winning the first match tonight, Kaldi has to win the second one.
So I'm trying to do a little bit more math here. So 1, 2, 3. He can only put 3 power on his Frothing Berserker.
To make it
4,
6.
He can put 4 power on with the Death Bite. So he's just got to wait. He doesn't really have an option. Has to attack here. This Armor Smith needs to pull 3 damage off the board. Zalae needs a miracle next turn. It's even more threats. Yep. Death Bite is... This is a wonderful hold from Kaldi, too. Being so patient with his tools.
Yeah, he's going to get this anti-heal bot into play, too. Just get as much power in play, force lethal here against Zalae.
It's got to be Brawl.
And take away the Death Bite as well.
Deathwing would almost work.
God, you always got to mention Deathwing, don't you? And there's the well played from Zalae. He knows that it's over.
Yeah, but he's got no tools left. Both executes used. Shield Slam wouldn't do it. Doesn't have the armor for it. Kaldi, 3 games to 1 over Zalae. The streak comes to an end tonight. Look at that, even Doomguard is deck.
There's a Doomguard?
And look at the statement. Sits over. He's like, no, this I'm the one who's ending this turn. What a beautiful match from him. This one I feel like pivoted on game 1, where Kaldi was able to steal the game with Freeze Mage versus a Warrior deck.
Yeah, you got to believe that that catapulted him here in this matchup, because it's easy to get down on yourself when you see that. You're like, oh my God, this matchup is just so unbelievable, because Kaldi knows how hard that matchup actually is. And then winning it, you got to believe he's like, oh man, I can probably easily do this from here. I just won what's going to be easily my hardest match my hardest game of the match.